Welcome, everyone, and one and all, to the United States presidential election mid-October prediction. Although we're nearly to the end of October, man, it's gone by really quickly. We are going to be doing our second to last prediction as we continue to advance quickly to the actual election day of 2024 on November 5th. So today we have the Democratic nominee, Vice President Kamala Harris, and the Republican nominee, former President Donald Trump. They will be going head-to-head in our mid-October prediction, seeing what has changed from the beginning of the month going forward. Let's get started. We can now officially call, so 6 o'clock, I would expect, would be most likely, in this case, be I don't know how yes, the grace period, grace hour. You might have see some channels or some outlets call Indiana and Kentucky for Trump. But if they do that, that does mean that Trump is really, really, really doing very well in Indiana and Kentucky, and would probably speak volume on how the race will end up going forward. So let's just say we're going to be calling these states at 7. So 7 p.m., we're going to go officially give the first states to the two candidates. Kamala Harris will win Vermont, while Donald Trump wins Kentucky. 8 electoral votes for the former president. He is leading over the vice president, who has 3 electoral votes. All right. It is... we can officially call, in this case, I don't know if we should, let's call Indiana. Indiana for Donald Trump. 19 electoral votes. It's 7:30 p.m. Ohio, West Virginia, and North Carolina have closed their polls. West Virginia quickly and easily goes to Donald Trump. We can now officially call the state of South Carolina, a state that, of course, Donald Trump will easily carry at the end of the night. Okay? This is what it looks like at the end of the hour. Virginia, too close to call. Georgia, too close to call. Florida, too close to call. North Carolina, too close to call. Ohio, too close to call at the moment, but most likely will go into the hands of Donald Trump. So this is what it's looking like right now. But yes, going forward, we are ready to... We're going to the hour where things happen. This is the 8 o'clock hour where we're going to see the most poll closings on my list here. And we have 2 critical swing states, Pennsylvania and Michigan, up for grabs. So 8 o'clock, the most important hour, in my opinion, of the night. So let's go ahead and call Massachusetts and Maryland for Kamala Harris. So despite these 2 states going for the vice president, Donald Trump still leads over the vice president. Okay? Now we are going to go ahead and give Oklahoma for Donald Trump, Alabama for Donald Trump, Connecticut for Kamala Harris, Delaware for Kamala Harris, Rhode Island for Kamala Harris, New Jersey for Kamala Harris. She's now leading technically. Illinois for Kamala Harris. Tennessee for Donald Trump. It's now 7:30. We can officially project the state of Arkansas. They have closed their polls, and it's going in for Donald Trump tonight. 65 electoral votes for the former president. This is what it's looking like right now. Vice President Harris beating the former president by just a little bit. We'll see. Who knows who's going to be the first to reach over 100 electoral votes. We're just going to have to see. So we are going to go ahead and call the states of Missouri and Mississippi. They're in favor for Donald Trump, giving him a 10-point advantage against Kamala Harris. Pennsylvania, of course, is too close to call. Ohio is being considered to be called for President Trump at this time. But furthermore, we're going to go ahead. Florida. Okay. It's now 9 p.m. You could say we're almost halfway through the night. we're gonna go ahead and see here. We have the state of New York will go to Kamala Harris at the end of the night. Louisiana in the hands of Donald Trump here. Okay, Texas, as you know, is too close to call. North Dakota, I would say not North Dakota, but maybe South Dakota will be in the hands of Donald Trump during tonight here. We're going to go ahead and give Nebraska's at-large congressional mainly Nebraska at-large, along with the 1st and 3rd districts. They will be going for Donald Trump at the end of the night. Colorado, too close to call. That is a pivotal state to help Kamala Harris reach over 100 electoral votes. Same deal with Mexico here. So North Dakota and Wyoming, giving Donald Trump the advantage, giving him being the first candidate to reach over 100 electoral votes. Although that's not really something to, be super, super, super excited about, like you're going to, that means or anything, of course. We're going to go ahead and call this the state of Kansas for the former president. The state of Iowa will go for former President Trump, 114 electoral votes as we speak tonight. We're going to go ahead and call the state of Ohio. That is his to win at the end of the night here today. Florida, we are considering possibly calling Florida, but that's too close to call as of right now. We are going to go ahead and call Colorado for the vice president. New Mexico is too close to call. Minnesota, too close to call at this hour. Okay. We're going to go ahead and look at, it's now 10 p.m., a close race indeed. Trump is leading by around maybe 20 points. But you're going to see the states of Montana, Idaho, Utah, and Nevada. They are all those are the states that will be called. Or I would say this is where this is when I would say the intensity decreases a little bit. You have 3 safe red states and 1 swing state. 1 swing state that isn't really a huge decider state, but it would be great to carry those electoral votes. But yes, we're going to go ahead and call Idaho for former President Trump, as well as the state of Utah, Montana, in favor for the former president. The states we could call the state of Texas, but you know what? We're probably going to do it. State of Texas in favor for Donald Trump at the end of the night. The state of Florida, his home state, giving him a 215 electoral vote advantage against Kamala Harris. New Mexico, however, goes to Kamala Harris, despite Donald Trump beating Kamala Harris by over 100 electoral votes. That's going to change, though, because Kamala Harris will easily win D.C., giving her 117 votes, but she has a lot of catching up to do. She will catch up eventually because of California, Oregon, and Washington. That will be called in the next hour here. But she will win in New Hampshire. New Hampshire going for the current vice president tonight. We can go ahead and call Minnesota for Kamala Harris, the place, I would say, the home state of her running mate, Tim Walz. She will be carrying the state of Minnesota at the end of the night. Virginia also going for Kamala Harris at the end of the night also. Okay, so this is what it's looking like so far. It's now 11 p.m. We got a whole lot of states to count. Donald Trump has reached over 200 electoral votes. This is a great sign for him. It shows that he has a lot of momentum going in through this. We got to give California, her home state, to Vice President Harris, as well as the state of Washington. Oregon just too close to call as of right now. Most likely will, at the end of the night, go for in the hands of the vice president. But yes, Donald Trump now has a 5-point advantage. Look at how quickly that changed. Maine at large is going in favor for Kamala Harris, as well as obviously the 1st district. The 2nd district, however, is going in favor for the former president. here. So this is what it's looking like so far. We can go ahead and make our move. Oregon in favor for Vice President Harris. We can now officially call a flip. Georgia is going for Trump. It made its decision for Donald Trump. 232. This is, of course, Kamala Harris. She doesn't need Georgia in order to win, but it is a sign that Donald Trump is going to do better than Joe Biden in 2020. North Carolina also going for the former president. All right, it's now 12 p.m. We can officially make our call here. The state of Hawaii, of course, in favor for Kamala Harris. Nebraska's 2nd district in favor for Kamala Harris, giving her 226 electoral votes. Okay. We can now call the state of Arizona for Donald Trump. Okay, this is where it gets real. Trump has 259 electoral votes, and now all these states are very, very, very close here. But we are going to go ahead and try our best to accurately call them. We can now call the state of Nevada for Kamala Harris. She will win the state of Nevada. But now, really, compared to our last prediction, it's really up to the Rust Belt, where we could possibly see a change from last a couple days ago, where we predicted Kamala Harris won all 3 of these states. But let's see what it looks like right now. We are going to go ahead and call the state of Wisconsin for Kamala Harris. She will win Wisconsin, 242 electoral votes. Going in now, we can officially declare that Donald Trump wins the state of Pennsylvania, thus said, giving him the election. Donald Trump has won the election, set to become the 47th president of the United States in January of 2025, marking an unprecedented and historic moment where, as you know, the second time where a former president gets to serve another term in another unconsecutive term, thus said, you'll be known as the 45th or 47th president. Michigan will also go to Donald Trump at the end of the night. And finally, the state of Alaska is going in favor for Donald Trump. So this is our prediction. And a lot of people, the comments are probably going to go crazy. There's going to be a lot of liberals that aren't going to be happy with this prediction because, you know what? Tolerating liberals, they're not really happy with anything. Loving and tolerant, but also some conservatives also will also be like, hey, why did you have Wisconsin go blue and Michigan go red? Well, you know what? This is what the polls are saying, and they go, oh, who cares about the polls? Blah, 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 blah. But the deal is, I want to really, really, really consider Wisconsin has always been more left most of the time than Michigan in this whole entire election cycle. I think that's very weird. Not to mention, I do think Wisconsin, I'm not predicting it would go to Kamala Harris. This is just a polling night. But as a total, though, it could. I do think it would go for Trump because the pendulum usually turns the other way. But at the same time, polls right now, they're saying Kamala Harris wins by a little bit. That could change, obviously, and I'm predicting it will change in November. But for our final prediction, but obviously, before I close the video, a lot of people go, can Michigan go more rightward than Wisconsin? Absolutely. It can. The chances are high. Will it? No, not really. The chances are high this year, but Michigan ideally can go more right than Wisconsin because we've seen previous times Georgia went more left than North Carolina compared to the 2016 election, where North Carolina was seen as a competitive battleground state. Georgia was a state that went to Trump by over 5 points. Now, apparently, Georgia went more left compared to North Carolina. So that is a fact, and I do think that Muslim voters, along with labor unions, will also put Michigan, and not to mention unprecedented third parties that are more left-wing progressive, are going to help Donald Trump very well compared to Wisconsin, where, yeah, he's a Rust Belt state, but then again, not much more, no real minority vote. but no real left-wing split in Wisconsin. So this is what my theory is kind of thinking. But of course, this is subjugated to change. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below. And as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.